Hey folks, it's Laura with Rain Tree Nursery. And if you love Asian pears the way I love Asian pears, then you want to get the best quality fruit from your tree. And one of the unfortunate classic habits that Asian pear trees have is that they set way too much fruit. And you have to get in and thin this fruit, because otherwise you end up with a whole bunch of ping pong sized fruit that's a bunch of skin and seeds and very little flesh and juice. Now, how much you thin the fruit has some to do with what you're going to do with it. If you're going to eat the fruit fresh, then the classic sizing is a 6-inch distance between the fruit. That's about 6 inches right there. And so if you're working with this limb, you want to spread, do the hang loose sign. And I could keep what's on this spur, and I could probably keep what's on this spur, but I would have to take everything off of this spur in order to get really good fruit quality. If what you're going to do is make wine or cider, you might do the 4-inch spread, which is from knuckle to knuckle instead of from pinky to thumb. It's very, very easy to pull the fruit off this. You just lift the fruit and it comes right off from the fruiting spur. You want to be careful not to damage the spur. And the last thing to remember when you're thinning fruit is if you have a clump of 2, you want to thin that to 1. If you have a clump of 3 or more, you want to thin that down to 2. So for example, if I'm going to do a 6-inch distance, I need to take this one and take it down to 1. This is the smaller one, so I'm going to pull that right off, and I'm going to drop it in a bowl or a bucket or a bag. I'm not going to leave this to rot on the ground because this could introduce disease. So now I've got one here, and this whole spur is going to have to come off, not the spur, but the fruit, so that my sizing is correct. My spur still looks good, and yeah, that's about right. So this one this is a group of 3 that has to come off. This has got some disease, that certainly comes off. And this other one has a little bit of surface malformation, so that comes off. So boom, I took what was, 7, 8 fruits, and now it's down to 2. I know that probably feels really scary, but what you're going to end up with is large, juicy fruit that's going to be tasty. It's going to store for a really nice long time, and it's not going to take so much energy from the tree that it will runt out or dwarf itself and exhaust itself as a young tree. You want to be able to harvest from this tree for generations to come. Thanks for joining us. It's Laura with Rain Tree Nursery. Keep on growing.